think we're going live.
Live, yes. This meeting is being live streamed. Okay.
Is it working?
It looks like it.
I will take it if it's going. Okay. I don't know if it's going to start right on time or if it's just going to start. I'm going to close out these windows though. It says we're live streaming. Okay, we are live streaming.
Yay.
This is the fun of being an entrepreneur because it's like let's figure crap out as we go. And I will tell you that it has been a little bit stressful because it's like I did this in 2 weeks and I was like, let's do it. We're doing it. And then I'm sitting here, no one can see behind the scenes, but I couldn't get it to work. So it is working. We're doing it. I am super, super excited. So I know we're 1 minute early, but hopefully people will start getting in. Um, okay, cool. All right. I think everything's going. Ladies, welcome to the House of Cortessa Live. I'm so excited to have you guys here. This is my brand new talk show, and we are going to talk about so many different topics related to entrepreneurship, into being a woman. Today's topic is really, really powerful. We're going to talk about pricing, we're talking about power, we're going to talk about all the good stuff that really needs to get deep down because we want to be unfiltered. This is what it's like if you're in the House of Cortessa. This is what it's like to have a girl group. And I'm introducing all of you to my girl group. So you can see my friends where I have those discussions behind the scenes. Like with Sandra, like I was messaging her the other day and I was like, I think I want to do this. And she was like, oh, I don't know. Maybe you should do it more. Like it seems kind of flat. Right. And so this is where we're going to have the real conversation. So I'm super excited. I want to just start off. We're just going to get right into it and just start having discussions because we are a talk show. So I want to make this a talk show. All right. So I want to first start talking about pricing and why so many women are really struggling with figuring out pricing, like getting the right pricing. Why are they too low?
Mm, juicy. Um, well, I'll just kind of put my 2 cents in first. I think that women really want to serve, right? They come into these businesses such as coaching and consulting and healing because they have a heart for service. And somewhere along the line, they learn that if something is easy and it feels fun for you to do, then you shouldn't be able to charge lots of money for it. So I think that it's coming from that place of servitude and not um, and not stepping fully into your the idea that your gift, the thing that does feel most fun and easy to do for you, is the thing that you need to charge the most for.
Right. Or like I always feel like so someone asked me this question, which I thought was just so funny. So my coaching can go from 30,000 to 50,000, right? And someone literally was like, well, have you ever paid 30,000 for coaching? Like, how can you charge
Mm.
30,000 for coaching? I go, first of all, yes, I have. Second of all, why does it matter if
Yeah.
I've paid for it before or not? Like to me, that
Hmm.
doesn't matter, right? What do you guys think about that?
I think that's a really weird question.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Hmm.
excuse me. I don't think it's about the money, right? I think that they were really asking you about how you have enough ego or how you have enough self-worth or how you have enough confidence to be able to command that type of value, right? To ask for that kind of value. Because Sandra, I do agree with what you said, but I think on top of that, it is people thinking about other people's pocketbooks. Like, well, they don't have enough money, or I wouldn't pay that. It really doesn't matter, right? It's like you have your
Yeah.
gifts, so your gifts are never valued as much as you think they are. And we're depending on how old you are, which if you're X or Z or A or B,
Hmm.
right? Where your worth was set, right? I Gen, I'm always call myself a Gen Zer, but I'm an X, right? Gen X, right? We were taught to be quiet, right? We were taught to
Yeah.
be seen and not heard. And when we've come into this digital entrepreneurship space, it's like, no, be seen and heard. Whenever I talk to somebody new or whenever I find a new client, I'm always adding $1,500 to whatever they charge minimally. Well, I think it should only be $20 because the other side of it is that if you don't charge enough, you're not worth it, right? If you're charging $19 and I'm charging $99 in where we are in society and in digital entrepreneurship, the $19 isn't worth anything, right? The $99, of course, I'm going to get more. So it's all, I think, really about positioning. How I know, Christina, we talked a lot about like how to position as a luxury item versus a bargain basement item. But like, I'm not Marshall's. I'm closer to Neiman's.
Right. And well, it's like how you show up in the world. It's like, what do you want to be seen? And I've had so many conversations with women who want to come join my coaching and they're just like, they'll tell me, and I know I've shared this with both of you, but like I talked to someone who did an 8-week live, like a live every week for 8 weeks. And she charged like $297 for it. And I was just baffled that I'm sitting here, wait, it's not recorded. It's not a template or something like a thing you go through. It's like really you showing up. And she's like, yeah. And I go, are you joking? Like that's so little. And she said, well, no one will pay for it more. Nobody will spend more on it. So why would I charge more? And I think a lot of it has to come to do with us internalizing that people aren't going to pay for something. But the funny thing is, someone is willing to pay for it if you show up and show them it's worth it, right? And it's all about the value. At least I see it as like, well, here's one
more
example.
than value. I think
Okay,
it's
tell
also
me.
like what your strategy is. So if your strategy is to get 400 people in the room, charge $299 or whatever, $199 because you're looking for volume rather than making money on it. So we always think about what the transformation and the end goal is rather than what's your financial goal, right? What's your revenue goal and what's your quarter goal and what your yearly goal is. And understanding to take it back from that. Like if her goal was $1,000 and she had 5 people, she made it.
Yeah. That's true.
That's true. It doesn't always have to be value. I think that when we start, like when we're starting out, that's an issue, right? Because
but I also think that the issue there, like you said, yeah, if she wants $1,000, great. But the issue there also is like she believes based on her own filters that this is this is as much as she can get. Right. And I think that that's where maybe this person needs to do a little work in tweaking because she may not be able to get to that high ticket that she wants to charge when she really needs to.
And how she can get there. Like I always said, whatever you do in this space, it's personal development on crack. I didn't come up with that. I don't know who, I wish I could find who said that because it's so true, right? And depending where she is in her journey, if it's her first thing, if it's, she's been doing it for 5 years and she's still doing that, then that's a totally different conversation.
Yeah. And I think it's just so much of like, there could be imposter syndrome. There could be like, I've never spent that kind of money. Why would someone else spend that money? So let's kind of go down this questioning is should people spend? So let's say I am somebody who's never spent that kind of money. Should I go spend the money? Should I go to a person's course and let's say I want to sell high ticket. Let's not do 30,000 because I know for a lot of people that's scary, but let's say 2,000. I want to sell a high ticket. I want to go 2,000. Should I go take 2,000 and should I go invest it in a good course and see how somebody sells a $2,000 course? Or should I just sell it and say I have confidence in doing it?
That's so like, it depends, right?
Yeah, I would say the same.
Where you are, it's all that kind of things. Like I don't love a group program. I like a one-on-one. I'd rather pay extra to get it directly from you. And that's, in my campus, I have my Mike to Millions program, which is a group program, and I work one-on-one, but my group programs are small, so people can still get that because not everyone can work with me in that capacity. I think it's really about what you're trying to accomplish in the time you're trying to accomplish it. When people come into this space, they spend $100,000 and get nowhere.
Yes.
Right. So it's the right person, the right product, and if you're going to accomplish it, because we all have things in our Google Drive that we haven't finished.
Right. I do think that when we've talked about my 25K investment in a group and Christina and I have talked about this. For me personally, I felt like it did help me get to that level faster because I'm like, oh, okay, now I know what it's like to invest myself at that level. I can accept it much better, when it's coming to me. That and and then some people want to do it gradually, and then some people just wake up and they're like, F this. I'm not going to be charging at this price ever again. So I think
That
it's
was me.
like,
Yep.
yeah, right. So I think it depends, but I have marketed to coaches raise your prices and that's what you need, that's where it's at. It is like Christina and I were talking about the fastest way to raise your income, to take your income to the next level. But for some reason, coaches or in the experience I had, they don't see it as the pricing being so much the issue. They think, oh, I need more leads or I need,
Yes.
something that can distract me away from the fact that I'm undercharging. And if I tweak that, then, I'm not going to be, doing the things that coaches do when they feel burned out because of the work that they're doing and they're not really getting the value back in investment from their clients.
I like that you mentioned that because this is something I hear all the time, right? It's like, oh, I just need more leads. And I'm like, okay, well, let's back up because if we're doing this, the only reason we're doing this, unless both of you are doing something different, is to make money, to get sales. That's the goal of this. Unless you want to make it a hobby and just hang out and do it because you have a ton of money, right? So if you're going to make sales, you need conversions, right? And yes, you need leads, but if you have, let's say 100 leads, but you have a 90% conversion, you're getting 90 sales. So why do I need more leads? The problem is their conversions are at 1%, 5%, maybe 7%. And so they say, let's do the volume game. Let's get thousands of leads. I need thousands of leads to hope I get a few. Instead, I look at it as I only need a couple of the right kind of leads that will actually convert, and then I'm
Yeah.
good. So it's like looking at it a different way. And I think that's also something where in the world out there where we're in, the conversation is do more, get more, be more. And I feel like we're forgetting the actual step of like selling somebody. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Mm.
I actually had a friend who just did a challenge, like a conversion event challenge into a program, and she had 800 people sign up for it. And she had 40 people show up,
Wow.
right? And that was a lot of ad spend that didn't go to the right people. Right.
Wow.
So
Mhm.
really understanding who your client is, how they're going to get to you, and what your conversions are. I always from what I'm doing, I'm trying to this. So I have a launch coming up. I'm
Mhm.
working with affiliates this time to increase my traffic because my conversion rates are good. I want more people so that I have higher numbers in the programs because I'm growing the different programs. So it really comes back to the strategy that you created to get to where you want to go. So many times when I have people in my programs, I'm like, okay, so what's your goal? How many podcasts do you want to do? How much TV do you want to do? How many people do you want to get in their program? It's a money goal versus a number goal. And I think once you get into this and you've been doing this 3, 5, 8 years, then it's like, oh, I need 60 people to work with me this year to make $300,000. Like that for me works so much better psychologically. You're not so stuck on the numbers. It's really how many people, and going back, Sandra, to what you said in the beginning, how many people are you impacting this year? How many lives are you changing this year? Rather than how
Yeah.
many people can I get to come to this masterclass?
Yep.
Yeah. I have a question for both of you.
Yeah.
Because the way that I see it, it's kind of like it's the easiest, it feels easier to want to or to need more leads versus doing the internal work to raise your prices. Like, what do you guys think about that?
I can answer, but I want to hear Beth first.
Uh, so I come from a long line of entrepreneurs. So I've always charged more. Like that was never
Mhm.
that issue. I have other issues. That was not one of my issues. And I think though, depending on who you're working with,
Is
your
that me?
clients will tell you if the price is right or not. And I've tested my pricing on my downloads and on my program to see where my clients will come in, where my conversion rates change. It's all it's a data game, which
It
I
is.
don't like And thank God I have somebody on my team who does love that to really track that for me. But if you're stuck in, I'm not worth it, I can't raise my prices, I think you have a much bigger issue in front of you than being a successful entrepreneur.
Right.
It's a lot of it. So the way I look at it, and I love how Beth, analyzed that and said that, because the way I look at it is this. You can charge, and I tell people this all the time, you can charge whatever you want to charge. Seriously. You want to charge $100,000, charge
Of
$100,000.
course.
Whatever you want. The battle that you have is you're charging something, and then you have to get the people who are willing to pay it. So the journey might be more difficult because they have to see you as the expert. They have to see you as the person who's going to take them that transformation. And I just say this all the time. If I can transform you and get you everything you want in 1 hour, am I not still worth $100,000? Or do you want me to take a whole year to do it, but same 100,000? So I tell people, I'm like, you have to convince them that the transformation is so solid and they'll get the result fast. Because a lot of people say, you get it for a full year, you get it for a full year. I don't want a full year. If you can transform me in like 2, 3 days and I'm rocking and rolling and I'm like going like crazy, right? I'm just expanding. Dude, I want it in 3 days. Like I don't want to wait forever. So what I've done with my pricing is I kind of started out a little bit. I'll be honest, when I first started this whole journey, I was here, there, down here, because I was trying to figure out what people wanted. Then I came to realize it wasn't what they wanted, it was what I was saying and what I was selling. That's the problem. Who you get into your world. So if you want to price higher, because I know Sandra, you and I have been talking about this, right? So it's like you want to price higher. It's really about saying, here's the price. Now, when I go back to my leads and I'm talking to people, I'm going to change the conversation. I'm going to change who I'm looking at. I'm going to change who I'm talking to. So, like for me and the House of Cortessa, this is not for people just starting a business. This is for people who have, so there's three elements really in sales, right? It's having a product and starting to make sales. So you're starting to make, that's the first step. The second step is getting consistent sales. Now your business is kind of running. A lot of women get stuck at step 2. They're comfortable, it's consistent, we don't want to change anything, we're okay. Step 3 is the hardest one. That's where you make your income level jumps. That's where it's like, how can I take what I'm doing, amplify it to the next level, amplify my income, so maybe 100,000 to 500,000, 500,000 to 1 million, and so on, without wasting all my time, without giving everything away. That's where it gets the most difficult, right? And so I say, okay, figure out the pricing that you want to do, but instead talk to the right people. So I'm not going to talk to people. I mean, people might come in my world, but if you're just starting your business, House of Cortez is not the right place. But if you got it and you're in step 2, or maybe you're in 1 and you're already moving into step 2 and you're like, okay, I'm starting to get this, but I'm that person because this is me. I want to amplify like this. I want to go. I want to run. I don't give a crap about all the other noise. I just want my success and do what I want and help my people. Then it's like, okay, I want those people. I want those people to come in and they're willing to pay because they see the value. Unless I'm wrong. That's the way I see it.
No, I totally agree. And I think, talking to that more seasoned entrepreneur, the one that's been through the pricing, the one that's been through the things like, so I changed my messaging a little bit for the launch that's coming up. And I was literally on my website earlier this morning and I was like, oh, I have to like, okay, just hit like done, right? Like hit like save. Cause I was like, oh, I'm changing my top line hero message.
Okay.
And it's because people believe like once you get to the next level, it's not scary, right? But it's terrifying at every single level. That's why I say this is personal development on crack. Like we are always testing ourselves. We are always working on it. And to scale, and that's what you're talking about, is to scale is to change everything you're doing. It's adding team members, it's adding systems. And if you don't have a strong foundation, that's really hard to do. Plus, if you got like some mind games going on, that's, I think, where you get stuck too. But the other side of it, and I think it's a different conversation, is like not everybody wants to get to 500,000. Not everybody wants to get to 1 million. You have to work your ass off. It's not easy. Right? I know on TikTok and Instagram, it's like, I made $30 million in 3 hours a day. Like it's such BS, right? It's what kind of lifestyle do you want to have so that your business fits into it rather than the other way around? Because I think that's a really bad message that people are getting.
I love that. I love that you just said that, Beth. I generally have my clients go fill out little calculator that I created. What does your dream lifestyle cost? Like put it all on this spreadsheet. And sometimes it's like 200K, you know? And so I think that that's the first step. Like, why do you want to get to that million? Is it because everybody else on,
Yes.
who's running a Facebook ad who says that they, make a million? Is that because you want to be part of the cool kids who make a million? Or is it because you actually want to, that's going to add to your lifestyle? So I think that just like what you said, Christina, you have to speak to your ideal client and at the level that they are. Every coach or expert or entrepreneur needs to know what is their ideal lifestyle going to cost. What does it
Yeah.
look like so that they can make decisions in their business based on that?
Yeah, no, I love that. And I took my attention away for a minute. So I realized we're streaming live, but we're not on the right link. So it's streaming live without streaming to the link we shared. So we are doing what we're doing. So we'll have to fix it in the end. But I just realized that and I'm like, I don't think it's streaming to the right link. But
That's
no,
okay.
anyway, and this is the real stuff, right? This is where it's like, okay, I think I got it, but it's not working. So no, I love this conversation and I think where we're going is fantastic. Pricing is really hard. And we kind of kept bringing up the conversation of you might have other issues. So, do we want to dive a little bit into those other issues like imposter syndrome, mindset? Because I feel like maybe someone's listening or watching this later on. And if you are watching this later on, still post in the comments. We'll still communicate and chat back with you. But let's talk about that a little bit because they might be saying, okay, that's great. I want to do this, but why am I still feeling stuck and not able to do it?
Yeah, I wanted to bring up one thing. It kind of leads into that. I saw recently a woman's Instagram, and it said that she had brought in over $100,000 worth of leads in like a time period. And it really irked me because it's so like what I if you're reading it closely, you're like, oh, like who cares? 100,
Yeah.
you know. So people downloaded your lead magnet, like that's not leads.
Nope.
But I think the messaging, and one of the reasons I talk about like stop scrolling, just look at your friends' stories on Instagram because it's just going to get in your brain. You don't have the right coach, you don't have the right system, you don't have the right product, you don't have the right messaging, you don't have the right anything. So how could you
Yeah.
move forward? The system is designed to keep us questioning what we're doing. And depending on whose program we're in, and we can name names and we don't have to, their offers are to keep you in their programs and to
Yes.
keep buying the next one because you're going to get to the next message, next message, next message.
Yeah.
And I think that conversation around who's a true coach, like you said, Sandra, gotten into this to really make an impact in people's lives, or this is a business and I'm running a business and that doesn't come into it. Because so many times when I do sales calls, people ask me, are you really teaching this? And I was like, who else would be? Well, I signed up for something and somebody else was the coach. Or, can I talk to somebody who's been in your program because I've been in another program and they didn't do what they said they were going to do. So that trust factor, which I think is really what we're talking about, is so high right now because there's so many people in this business that are not trustworthy. And women like us are working so hard because we have integrity and because we're trying to get somewhere to combat that. Personally, I don't scroll at all anymore. People ask me, did you see this on Facebook? I'm like, I'm not looking. I'll look at my friends' stories, but it's too distracting for me. And that's one of the things I do to keep myself safe.
Yeah.
No.
It's sorry, Christina, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I put my horse blinders on and I think I have them on way too too much because I don't, like you, Beth, don't look at anybody else's stuff on Instagram or Facebook. I mean, come some cat videos sometimes, but I think that that's number one. The thing that you need to do in order to be successful is stay in your own lane.
Oh,
Yeah.
Get support that feels in alignment for you, and you're gonna know who's in alignment, but stop looking at at the ads and the news feed.
The 6 figures in 6 months.
It
Right.
it drives me crazy because it's like I know I'm good at what I do, and then I see these things and I'm like, am I doing something wrong? Like,
Right.
am I not am I not like doing what everyone else like I'm a big believer I do everything. I do my thing my way. I don't really do it everyone else's way, but then I get this little voice. It's like, maybe I should be doing it like that. Maybe I should be spending more time. And to be honest, I hate Instagram. I hate social media. I actually love YouTube
Me too.
because it's long form content. Actually, that's why I'm doing the live. Like I enjoy this. This is fun for me. When I do my interviews, my podcast or my YouTube, I love that. It's a lot of fun. Otherwise, I don't like social media in any way. I don't want to be on it. I don't want to consume it. And then when I start to get into it, this is me. It's like when I watch stuff, I get imposter syndrome that explodes. Like it's so bad. It's like I'm not good enough. And then the funny thing is, so many of the people who post out there are lying anyways. Like you see people getting on a jet or a nice car or whatever, and it's either rented or borrowed or it's just a shot or it's whatever. And I'm like, let's be real. I'm literally sitting in a 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 1,500 square foot apartment because this is where I'm living right now until my house, I figure out what I do with my new house, right? Because it's going to be mine well, it's mine now, but the seller stays until Wednesday. Thursday, I have a whole bunch of contractors coming to see if we want to tear it down and build ginormous house, keep it the same. What do we want to do? But this is my life. Like, I don't have something super fancy. I'm literally sitting in one of the bedrooms doing it. Like, why do we have to show all this stuff? And I think it's funny because my husband and I were walking last night and the conversation came about money and being showy and flashy. And I'm like, it's really funny because women feel like they have to have their nails done all the time. They have to be perfect all the time. They have to have the handbags. They have to have the lifestyle. And the young kids, and I know Beth and I were talking about this, like the young girls, they want the money. And so they're like, how much money do you make? And they ask the men. And I feel so bad for the young men today because it's like, if you're not making a lot of money, a lot of the women are looking at you like, oh, I'm not going to go with you unless you have a lot of money and give me that lifestyle. And I'm sitting here going, you can help your man get somewhere. Like you can do all this. You can make it for yourself. But I feel like when you watch on Instagram, I'm not on TikTok, so I don't really know. But like when you see all this, it plays a lot with your brain. It really kind of messes you
Mhm.
up. At least that's the way I see it.
Oh, there's so much science behind it. Totally messes you up, right? If you're not like 6 feet and have a trust fund in New York City, like you're nothing,
Yeah.
right? That's a whole nother. We should do another live about
We should
all
talk
that
about that
stuff.
because that's another yes, I
That's a
agree.
whole nother conversation. But I really come to it from this point of view is like the why not you? That's like my mantra. That's my whole campus's messaging is that we have the imposter syndrome comes in because we're questioning ourselves. And when you can turn that around to really be thinking about like, why can't I be that person? Why shouldn't I be that person? Why am I not being that person? It's for me, that's the way I've built my business, the way I've been successful. Because when I think that, the other stuff can't get in. Right? There's always
I
an
love
answer.
that.
There's always a place to move versus that who am I to do this? I don't ask myself that. And that's one of the things that I change the most of my clients. Most of my testimonials talk about my why not you methodology, somebody called it. And I was like, it's
Yeah.
something I've always said to myself, because I used to be a actress and getting up on stage in front of people as a little kid. My mom probably said it to me. I have to ask her, why can't you get this part? Why can't you be on TV? Why can't you be in movies? I'm too short and I can't sing. That was the reason why. But I think it's and everyone talks about mindset. I really believe to keep us in a bad mindset. Because if we don't keep us in that bad mindset, then we don't need to have that conversation. Not everybody, I'm not saying that not everyone needs the mindset, but it's such a big conversation that I feel like sometimes just keeps us down versus help us move forward.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
And when it comes down to sales and pricing and all of this, if you're
yeah.
not confident and you don't feel like you're there or you belong or any of that, and this is where I talk a lot about being held back, right? We go into, masterminds, we go into groups, we pay a lot of money for programs. And the funny thing is you get into a room and you're like, everyone's just as screwed up as I am. So it's like, wait, where do I get
No
to talk to
matter
people?
where they're at, like,
Wherever they're
what
at. And
level
it's
they're
like,
at.
wherever that. And sometimes you get into rooms and everyone's at the same level and they're all having problems. It's like, how do I learn? How do I get ahead? And you have one person who's teaching you information. And sometimes it's a one size fit all. Right. And that's what I love, Beth, about you. Yours is very customized. Sandra, same with you. It's like, let's get in, let's figure out you. And that's my whole thing too. It's like, what is your thing? What do you want to build? How do you want to be it? And I think that's where a lot of the imposter syndrome comes from, the mindsets too, is if we're trying to conform into someone else's model, we have an inner conflict. And we're internally having a conflict where it's like, I'm not enjoying this. I'm not liking this. I'm struggling with this. I don't have the money. It all kind of stems from a lot of that too.
And it's the
Yeah.
thinking that we have to do that. I actually had a friend, I'm gonna bring up my Voxer because she texted me this morning and it kind of threw me, not threw me, but I was like, really? And she said, whose training are you following for your affiliate program? And I was like, mine?
My intuition.
I was like, nobody's.
my my internal guidance system.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is right. It's like, but it's like, why do we have to follow it? Okay, so we can get on the big names and we can say we're going to follow this person or that person, but I'm going to tell you. So, like, if I go follow someone who's been in the business and like doing their sales and their course or whatever for 16, 17 years, if you go back to day one or a few months or first year, they're fumbling, they're awkward, they're weird, like they're figuring it out. They found them through that journey,
Yeah.
right? But if I take theirs now, that's completely different than where I am now. And I keep telling people, it's like, you don't want to copy everything I do. I had someone who wanted to come into my coaching, and she's like, why don't you just have templates? Why don't you just tell me exactly what to say and do? And I was like, because if you do it my way, it's not authentic. It doesn't fit you. So you're going to go sit down with a client, you're going to go talk to somebody, and you're going to be awkward and weird because you're memorized the script and you're going to be like, so are you interested in this today? Like there's no emotion, there's no nothing. And that's where you get those sales calls where people do that and they're just question after question after question. You're like, literally, I'll stop them. I'll be like, are you reading a script? This is horrible. Like you're really bad. And they're like, oh, and then I throw them off and then they can't continue because they lost their place in the script, right? But a real salesperson who's authentic and who knows what they're doing, like let's say Beth, she's on a sales call and someone's like, I'm really struggling in my podcast and I don't really know how to really make them profitable or just get the excitement back. If she was reading a script, she would be like, okay, and then she'd go to the next question. But instead, she'll be like, oh, that's really interesting. Like, can you tell me more about it? Like, why is that a struggle? What's happening there? And I know she goes down a line of like just through her brain of how can I really help this person? What are they really struggling with? Is this the right program for them? That makes the difference.
It's a different point of
Absolutely.
view, right? It's about how everyone thinks that you're having a sales call to see if you can get them to buy from you. I'm interviewing them to see if
Yes.
I can help them. Right?
Yeah.
Like, are you going to fit in the charisma of what we're created? And to go back what you were saying before about like the framework, I have a framework, but I call mine a system.
Mhm.
Right? It's a system that you can implement into your business so that you can do it your way. These are the ways that we do this rather than do this, 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 and this. It doesn't work that way. And I think that's if you're looking at the broader scope of what's going on, look at the people who've been in the business for 10 to 15 years and how they are changing what they're doing according to what's going on. And how if
Yes.
you're not
Mhm.
really looking at what the trends are, because they're not making $1 million, $2 million, $3 million every launch. Like Hermosi had his launch just 2 days. Was that 2 days ago? Yeah. What do you make?
Yeah.
Yeah.
$84 million just telling people to buy his book? Like you need to study what's going on and how
Yes.
you
Yeah.
can fit into what's changing in the system, because you just stay still and continue to do somebody's framework, you're not going to get anywhere, or you're going to be dead in the water really soon.
Yeah.
No.
And I think that that's, to be an entrepreneur, it is an ever, you know, flowing and evolving dance that you're doing constantly. Like things change yearly, or sometimes even
I was gonna
faster
say
than
like
that.
I was gonna say like every minute, like look at this,
Yeah.
like I'm not even live streaming on the right stream. Like
Well, I'm
it's
thinking about, platforms that I was on back in like 2012 when I started my business,
yeah.
and things have changed so much. And I think that we do need to learn how to like flow with it. But I also think that the internal guidance system is always like on point, you
Hmm.
know? Like it's the whole squirrel situation that we get into. If you really look within and figure out what is, do that work, like what is it that I actually want, right? And is
Yeah.
is doing this thing, this different thing that everybody's doing going to, work for me?
Right. It's like the shiny object syndrome. So like for me, I started in all of this and I have a course and I have all this stuff and I was doing really well with it. And I kind of got to the point where I was like, I had to make a hard decision. I said, I'm not loving it. I'm not at my full potential. I wasn't liking just how it was flowing. It's a great course. I had great people in it. It was just everything was good. But inside me, I was like, I felt like I was just doing something so unaligned that I was just like, I don't want to show up. I didn't love it. So when I really thought about it, I did the work. I took a long time, like months and months, to say, what do I want to build that I really want? And that I know other people want and need, where I can help people grow in a different way. And that's how I came up with the House of Cortessa. And it was really like, how can I change something? How could I do something different? But I had to do a lot of work. Like I really just stopped selling my other course. I took a huge cut and I wasn't making any money, right? I had some memberships going, so a little money was coming in. But I feel like if you don't step back and do that work to figure out where you really want to go and what you want to do, that's the difference. Because I know that like some of the big names, they talked about how she had a course for a long time. And after a couple years, she was kind of like, I don't want to do it anymore. This is a big name too. And then that's when she was like, I'm going to switch and do something else. And then she had to start all over and build something else. And now it's amazing, of course. But even now in that course, she's like, oh, I think I want to do something else now. So she still has the course because it makes her a lot of money. But now she's moving into a lot more of that one-to-one or group coaching because she's like, I'm kind of bored of this. I kind of want to do something different. So I feel like we have to always do that inner work and make sure what we're doing really aligns with us. And then just pulling this all back to the pricing. It's like, when you feel aligned and you're really loving it and you're really seeing it as I call it like my baby, like the House of Cortessa, like I feel like it's my little baby. Like I'm so excited about it. I just think about it all the time. I'm like, I can't wait till we get going and start going on our Ritz-Carlton cruises because I want to do one as like members. So like all this stuff I want to do, like I'm so excited about it. That needs to light you up. That needs to be the moment. Like it takes you to where it's like, yes, it might not be super expensive to get in, but once you're in, the coaching is expensive, but you're going to have massive, rapid transformation. That's the big thing.
Well, that's exciting. I didn't know that Ritz-Carlton had cruises.
They do, and I want to go
Yes.
so
No
bad.
idea.
My husband's like, I want to do the carnival. Like, I don't know what it's called. It's the big cruise ships that have like the thousands of people. And I
Yeah.
tell him, and I'm like, that's like being at Disneyland for like a week. I'm okay.
You're
Like, I love, by the
so
way,
bougie,
yeah, I know
Christina.
I love Disneyland. Don't get me wrong. I'm a huge Disney freak, but like I do not like cruise ships where there's a massive amount of people. The Ritz-Carlton cruises, if you've ever looked at them, they are like everybody has a suite, like a luxury suite, right? I think there's like 400, 500 cabins. There's not a lot of stuff there, right? Like you just go and it's luxury, it's spa, it's all the good stuff. And so I'm like, as members, we can go on a trip. We can go explore together. We can go do fun stuff. Like that's the cool thing. So I know we're kind of coming up on our time now. Any last thoughts that you guys want to add on this conversation?
Beth, go ahead.
Because I don't ever talk. You know, one of the things I want everyone to hear from what we're saying is that yeah, this isn't easy. Yeah, this is going to test everything you've ever thought about yourself and everything you've thought about life. But I would never do anything else. And what I say to a lot of my clients when we're finishing working up is like, with this knowledge, now you can create your own possibility of success. Only you can create that. No team member, no coach, nobody else outside of you can actually make this happen. So all you need to do is take your fear and your talent and go towards the light and make it happen for yourself every single day.
Yes.
Beautiful. I love it. I will say I do agree with Beth that it is hard. It's going to bring up all your childhood shit that you need to heal,
Yes, all of it.
right? So maybe work with a coach and a therapist as you're going through it. But I do think that it is going back to that thing, like, what is your vision? Don't try to look at, the cute girl on the Facebook ad that's telling you that you have to make $1 million and this is how you do it. Figure out what is your thing. Like, what do you want? What is going to work for you? And then you can bring in the team to help you to get there easier, much easier than you can on your own.
No, I love that. And it's what this is all about. It's like having the confidence, having like I'm known for having grit. I just go and it's like I'm going to push through it. I'm going to figure it out. And the next time we run, I'll have the link figured out. And the next time I do something else, I figure it out. There's so many times I stumble, but what happens is I stumble so fast and I jump up and I keep going, right? It's kind of almost like those people running the relays where you see them stumble and they have to jump up and keep going because, they got to get before the next person. That's me. It's like if I'm going to stumble and I stay on the ground, it doesn't help me. So I tell people all the time, when you want to work on pricing, when you really want to figure things out, you have to just sit there and say, what do I want? And that's why when I say empires, you can be an empire at 100,000. You could be an empire at 500,000. You could be an empire at 10 million, whatever your empire is. That's why I try not to put a number on it because everyone's different. But at the end of the day, are you enjoying life as you go? Are you enjoying the journey? Are you enjoying this? If you're just doing this to do this and you're not enjoying it, do something else. Right? That's the biggest conversation. And when you enjoy it, you can put the pricing to where it needs to be. You can have the conversation with the people to show them the pricing is worth it. You can do all of that. But like you said, Sandra and Beth, like if you're not loving it, you're not there, it's hard to do that. So, well, I appreciate you guys so much on this live. We are going to be live once a month. It's the third Tuesday of every month. If you want to check out more real conversations, I'll be rotating different guests. I'm going to have Beth and Sandra back on again, but we're going to keep having different conversations. It's all about how you can really amplify what you're doing, how you can see the world in a different life, how you can have friends and be part of the conversation. If you're watching this in the recording, put your comments in. Let's have a discussion. I'll jump back in still in the comments and have a discussion. I apologize for the link not being on, but we'll make it work. But come join me the third Tuesday of every month so we can get down into these deep conversations. Sandra and Beth, thank you so much for joining me on my brand new talk show. Yay, I'm so excited. Eventually, I want to do it live with everybody with me. So let's see if we can get to that point one day. But thank you guys, and thank you for everyone who is going to be watching the recording.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Thank you.